Alright, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to my. I am here today going to address you guys with a deck profile. First video, deck profile. Bam! How does everybody like that? Okay? We're going to start it off, as you can tell, salads. Alright, I love salads. Great deck. It's probably one of my favorites right now. I understand it's not the best deck of the format. The best deck of the format, unfortunately, I will claim is Tri-Brigade. Zodiac variant, precisely. It's really fucking good. Alright. Now, obviously, main deck, 40 cards. Side extra deck, 15 cards. But I'm not gonna go over an extra deck in this video because when you do not extra deck, I'm not gonna go over side deck in this video because obviously when you do side decks, in my opinion, they vary per deck. Like I have this deck, I am building rockets and cyber dragons as well. Cyber dragons has this basically the side deck's the same because for cyber dragons it plays the same hand traps and you can also side out some cards without hurting the deck, like this deck as well. Alright, so down with the deck profile. For SALAMANGREAT cards, you can play 1 Gazelle, 3 Spinny, Foxy, 1 Jack, Fowl, 1 Falco, and 1 Boxer. So with each of these cards, after I get done with every section of card, because I'm gonna do like SALAMANGREAT monsters, and I'm gonna do like different monsters, hand traps, spells, and then traps. So that's how I'm gonna do my videos and my deck profiles. In my opinion, that's how I feel it's better to comprehend. You know what you need for SALAMANGREAT monsters. All right, what do I need for other monsters? All right, what do I need for spells to make this deck? What do I need for traps to make this? People follow deck profiles a lot, I know, but in my opinion, don't follow this to a T. All right, I'm just gonna say this now. Have your own playstyle. Everybody has their own playstyle. Everybody plays differently. So you can look at this deck profile and be like, oh, I want to play spinning it too. Like, why? And you can be like, well, in my opinion, you draw spinning too much. It's still good. I mean, yeah, you can normal summon it, and then you can use its effect to discard, and then summon it. It's a free. In F2, you can make your Stalio off of him alone. Alright? Or even Balinks or something like that. Even if you like normal summon him, link him away, Balinks, summon him back out, then you can go Sunlight Wolf and keep plays going. Alright, but you play your Gazelle. Gazelle. So the ruling thing on Gazelle, I've learned this. So Gazelle says when a SALAMANGREAT monster is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is normal special summoned, it gets to dump a SALAMANGREAT spell trap from your deck to the graveyard. So if you activate Sign Up Mining and you discard, say, Spinny or say Jack Jaguar, and you add your Gazelle off of Sign Up Mining, Gazelle still activates because of the fact that even though the card's at 1, there's a possibility that there could be another card in your name SALAMANGREAT Gazelle. Right? But you play 1 Gazelle because of that. Spinny, obviously, you already went over that with you. Foxy, normal summon it, excavates 3, adds a SALAMANGREAT card from your deck to your hand. Of the 3 cards excavated. Alright, and if it's in your graveyard, you can discard a SALAMANGREAT card, special summon itself. Obviously, that's synergy with the Gazelle. 1 Jack Jaguar, if it's in your. A, it's a level 4 monster. B, if it's in your graveyard, you can turn a SALAMANGREAT card to your deck, special summon itself to its own link monster points to. That's why you only play 1, because it only summons itself to its own link monster points to. Like it, because A, it's a free summon, but B, it's a level 4. Alright, we do level 4 toolbox in this deck. It's a small one, it's only like a 2 card level 4 toolbox, but no. At least for the extra deck, or rank 4 toolbox. That's what. Next is 1 Foul, and it doesn't do anything other than summons itself from your hand when you summon a SALAMANGREAT card or monster. Next is Falco. If Falcon's sent to the graveyard, he gets to set directly from your graveyard a SALAMANGREAT spell trap. And he has the synergy with Gazelle. Obviously, you can just dump your Falco off the bat and say you already activated Circle, you can set Circle, so you can make your Link monster unaffected, or you can add on your next turn. Whatever. Falco gets to set that. Falco can set your Roar, can set your Rage, can set. Alright, so those are basically the ones you're going to be playing anyway. Any other spell or trap for SALAMANGREAT's trash. But Boxer, on the other hand, I have found great success with this card. I've played this card at least only at one tournament so far. Right? And I'm only saying it's locals, but Boxer, you discard her from your hand, target one of your Salamangreat Link monsters in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, then destroy a spell trap on the field. Alright, and since she was discarded first, alright, and then targets one in your graveyard, and your opponent's. You target your Salamangreat Link monster in your graveyard, and your opponent's spell trap card, close them up. Semicolon, and then if this card was in the graveyard when that spell or trap card was destroyed, which it was, it gets to summon itself, which is really, really good. Because that card also allows you to still go off, and what we like to do in Salamangreats, go off. Even if you do get disrupted, you still might be able to play through it. Nibiru, you could, if you play it right, you definitely play through Nibiru. That's if you play it right. Next, 2 Buffalo, 2 Debug, Exceed, Archiver, 1 backup section. Now I'm going to stop there. I do have another card in this section that I want to go over with. But I'm going to make the comment first that, not everybody's going to see this coming. You can play this card at 1, play this card at 2. And I say play this card at 2, you're going to probably want to get rid of a Lady Debug for this card. Alright? Or you can just play it and then make the deck a 41 card deck if you want to play more than one of this. 41 to 42 card deck. If you want to play more than one copy of this card. But it is Microcoder. Oh, I would play Microcoder. Salamangreat. It's a Cyberse monster. And it's only level 1, but you keep this bad boy in your hand. You don't have to summon it. If you're going to summon a Talker Link monster, which you do, play 1. If you can afford access code, then that's 2. Discards itself as material for the Link summon. Then if it's discarded for a Link summon for a Talker Link monster, obviously that's what its effects for. You get to add a Signet spell trap from deck to hand. You're adding Signet mining. But that's why. Buffalo, discard a Cyberse, draw 2 cards. So you can draw Gazelle, you can discard a Salamangreat. The Gazelle is going to summon. Yada yada yada. Debug, add your Gazelle. Or any other card that you might need to go combo. Parallax Seed summons itself from your hand to a Zone Link monster points to. The Archiver does the same thing, except it does it from your hand or graveyard. Backup Secretary, if you just control a Cyberse monster, it just plops itself on the field. Alright, now you can see why it's easy to get Nibiru'd, but you could probably still play through Nibiru if you play your cards right. You can still go, say you have a Jack Jaguar in your graveyard and you haven't used it, or you have Spinny in the graveyard and you haven't used them. You can still summon Spinny and go through your plays. That's the way you do things. The next things you're going to play, you have to play hand traps. You can't not play hand traps in this deck. Play hand traps in this. If you don't play hand traps, you're doing it wrong, in my opinion. You have to. If you're going second in this deck, it's not preferred. But, I mean, it does help with the OTK potential because your opponent gets bored and you're able just to punch, because that's what this deck likes to do, is just big old punch straight to the gut. You're able just to punch straight through it and attack for game. Better. But also disrupt your opponent. They don't have that big of a board is even better, so you can still punch for a game. So 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous, 3 Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, and then only 2 Effect Veiler. Everybody knows what these cards do, but I'm going to explain why I play 2 Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is only on your opponent's turn, and it only negates a monster effect. I'm going to say Solemn Strike. That's exactly what we play as our third, quote-unquote, third Effect Veiler. Alright. Effect Veiler is good, don't get me wrong. Solemn Strike negates summons too. So we play 1 Solemn Strike and 2 Effect Veiler. Alright. Everybody knows what Ash Blossom does, everybody knows it goes. I don't need to explain those. Next we're gonna start with our spell cards. Obviously spell cards, you're gonna play that's obvious. Signet mining. Not playing Signet mining at 3, you're honestly doing it wrong. That's the card you need. Even if you're playing the Code Talker deck that just came out that got the support because of Microcoder, you're still playing Signet Mining because they're all Cyberse monsters. 1 Salamangreat Circle. Obviously the card's at 1, so you can only play it at 1. And if you're playing regular, then you can just do whatever the hell you want. But if you're playing tournament play, which is meant for this build, add a Salamangreat card from your deck to your hand, you'll have that. Or if it's on the field, and say you used Sunlight Wolf to make Sunlight Wolf, it can make that card unaffected by card effects. I mean, nobody really uses it for that second effect. Using it for the first effect, so you can add shit. Next is Will the Salamangreat. Monster Reborn. It's a continuous spell, yes, but it's a Monster Reborn. Targets. Its first effect allows you to target one Salamangreat card in your hand or graveyard and special summon that card in face up back position. Alright. In second effect, if you have a Salamangreat Link monster, they'll special summon using its own name as its material. So Sunlight Wolf, for example, you can target that card and special summon two Salamangreat monsters from your graveyard equal to that card's Link rating. Obviously, Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf has a Link 2 rating, so you can special summon two monsters off a will if you want to use its second effect. Next, you're playing one Sanctuary. You only play one Sanctuary, less chance of drawing it. Obviously, you're still going to have times where you're going to draw it. Baylink's a little bit, of a width. Play one Sanctuary because Sanctuary is Sanctuary. It allows you to make your card use its name for its own Link summon. That's why all these other cards work, like Will and Salamangreat Circle. And the effect of Sunlight Wolf also works. I mean, you can still hard mix. You got Sunlight Wolf and an Ash Blossom on the field, or Sunlight Wolf and a Jack Jaguar. You can still hard make the Sunlight Wolf and its effect can still proc. It's just easier to use this because you can just use that monster for itself. Alright, and if anything still goes wrong, you can still get this card back, so you can still keep doing that shit. Alright, next you can play Upstart Goblin. Now, I don't play Pot of Desires in this deck like everybody else says. Oh, play Desires. No, don't play Desires. 9 times out of 10, you will banish your Gazelle. It happened to me a couple times ago when I went to my local tournament. Activated Desires, banish 10, draw 2, looked at my banish pile. There goes Gazelle. Since Gazelle's already at 1, you have to play, your 3 Sign at Mining, you play 2 Debug, and you play 1 Circle. And then you also play Mirage Stalio. If you can't get your Gazelle to your side of the field, off of that alone, you're already going to have a hard time. Unless you're somehow able to discard your Roar and be able to save yourself. Because that Roar is just, it hits your opponent hard. Because you have to play it right. But if you play Roar and you get into your graveyard, you can Sunlight Wolf to bring it back. Or if you hard draw it, it's by itself, where you don't need Gazelle. Okay, that's fine. And it gives you an even better chance to use Gazelle next turn, or get your Gazelle next turn. If you don't see any of those cards, it's going to be really hard for you, though, to be honest. Next spell, Burial, honestly, because it helps your Gazelle. You dump a card from your deck to the graveyard. Salamangreat monster, Gazelle special summons itself. Doesn't matter where it's sent to the graveyard from, as long as your Salamangreat monster is sent to the graveyard. Called by the grave. Nobody likes getting hand trapped. Nobody likes Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This thing stops both of them. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno's in the graveyard. Banish that shit. Can't summon it, and they can't use its effects. Great. Because it's an effect to summon itself. I think. Or it's an alternate summon. But, or your opponent activates Ash Blossom, activate Called By. Yay, and now your opponent has to sit there and weep, river, and cry because they now have to allow you to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Next, we're going to go with trap cards. I play 5. Alright, so obviously you know about the 2 Roar, the 1 Rage, and then obviously the Strike that I told you earlier. So what's the last trap card? Now it's spicy. Alright. Pulse. Now, this is the card that I think people are sleeping on. I mean, it does target, but it returns a card to the hand, a monster card to the hand. Zeus, going back to the extra deck. Herald, if you activate this in chain, going back to the deck. Or going back to the hand. Boss monster, go back to the hand, unless it can't be targeted by card effects. Strike is good, Rage is a target destruction, and Roar is your Omni. Or can still set itself if you special summon a Salamangreat Link monster. So that's just Pickens right there. Next, we're going to go on to the extra deck. Okay, this is going to be fast. Obviously, everybody knows the reason for Baylinks. So, Baylinks, it searches your Sanctuary, and then it protects your Salamangreat cards from destruction. Sunlight Wolf. Summon a card to his own Sunlight Wolf points to. It's a fire monster. Gets to add a fire monster from graveyard to hand. Which, yes, people does include Ash Blossom because Ash Blossom is a fire monster. Alright. And then if you summon Sunlight Wolf using its own name, you get to add a Salamangreat spell or trap back from your graveyard to your hand. Next is one Salamangreat Healer. You play one. You don't play two, you play one. We don't got room for two. Even if we did play two, it really wouldn't do anything unless you're playing Violet Chimera as well. But we're not playing Violet Chimera. This is a Salamangreat combo, this is a Salamangreat combo, kind of like punch your opponent in the face and try to go for the OTK kind of build, not a Salamangreat control build. I can see where it can be more of a control aspect because of the hand traps and the roar, and the strike and the compulse, but you kind of need that to be able to ensure that your opponent's not going to get rid of your board if you can't OTK them. Next for Link cards, you're going to play one Update Jammer. Update Jammer, it allows your cards to be able to attack twice. Link Summon using this card makes it to where your cards can attack twice. Okay. You Link Summon this, you make your Transcode Talker, choose the effect. Alright. Since you're choosing that effect, you can summon it back with Transcode Talker. And then make your Borlo Dragon or your access code, whatever you want to, and make that card be able to attack twice. One Cyber's Wit Kid. Now there's a reason for Wit Kid. Your cards, and because if you have Transcode on the field, it makes it to your cards cannot be targeted by card effects. Wit Kid makes it to where they can't be destroyed by card effects. If that makes sense. So it's basically double layer protection. You got Wit Kid, you got your Transcode. If you have Transcode under Wit Kid, and then you got Borload here, your Borload itself can't be targeted by card effects by its own name, by its own card effect. Transcode makes Wit Kid not be able to be targeted by card effects and itself. And Wit Kid makes it to where those cards cannot be destroyed by card effects. So it's basically like, try to do something. You're gonna have to tribute my cards off, or banish them, or return it to the deck without targeting it. Which obviously the only other thing that can get around that is basically Tiara Masu and Madolches. You're gonna play one Hydia to the Firestormer Blaze. And Hydia is good. I'm gonna tell you why. Take Hydia monsters, including a fire. It's 2 monsters. Right, that's the reason why you play Hydia. Includes a fire monster, so you can basically just normal summon your Veiler if you want to, or if you have Veiler on the field for some odd reason, and you can summon Ash Blossom, and if your opponent has an Ash Blossom in the graveyard, the look on their face when you steal it and use it to make Hydia is so funny. Or when you steal it on Hydia and then you use it to go into your Transcode Talker, it's so freaking funny. Because they're like, what the hell, man? Well, sorry, you had a monster, I stole it, and now I'm going to make Transcode off one card. And that's why I play Hydia, because she's actually good for this deck, especially for that combo. So you're back into the wall, and you're like, oh, this is the only card I can make. Bam, bam, Transcode. Even if it can't attack twice, it still pokes really hard. Transcode? You have to play one. And this is part of the reason why you play Micro Coder. The more cards on your field after this card's Link Summon, the easier it is to make your XC Summon monster Baguska, which is in this deck, and that's your basic rank 4 toolbox. Is that one card in Abyss Dweller, but we'll get to that. But if you use that to make Transcode, it's easier. Alright, and you use one Link monster, say your Sunlight Wolf and Microcoder. Take Transcode, summon back your Sunlight Wolf, or you can use it to summon back Update Jammer, or whatever. Use the Update Jammer and say 2 other things, make Borlo Dragon, or 1 other thing. 2 other things, make Borlo Dragon. Borlo Dragon's a big beefy boy. He's going to probably be at 3,500 attack or 3,000 and swing twice. And then even if you have like 3 Salamangreat monsters left on the field, then even if you have like 3 Salamangreat monsters left on the field, then you can, if you have 2 level 4s, you can make Baguska, and then you can have 1 just sit on the field. So if you have Roar set, your opponent's like, shit. So they really can't do anything. Borlo Dragon. if you want to play a more budget version of this extra deck. I mean, all these cards aren't that expensive. Update Jammer you can literally find probably for 20. Wit Kid 2, Hydia comes as a common as well. Transcode's probably a couple bucks. Phalanx is probably like $1, and so is Sunlight. And Borload itself now is probably like $1. I'm pretty sure it's common as well. So this is like a cheap poor man's version of Access Code, except it doesn't become big number and attack twice. This is 3,000 attack, steal both your or steal 2 of your opponent's monsters and stuff 2 attacks. All right, and because of that, that's why you can play this Access Code if you can't afford Access Code. Next is for your Xyz. All right, you're gonna play 3 Xyz. 1 Stalio, Dweller, Baguska. Stalio helps combo. Abyss Dweller stops those graveyard reliant decks. Playing against Orcus, fuck. Then you play Baguska. Baguska literally stops everything. Oh, I'm gonna just Xyz summon this card in defense position. Try to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I normal summon a monster. Oh, that card switched to defense position. Activated Defection Negate. Baguska hits. But alright, guys, that is going to do it for the deck profile. Let me know what you would change the deck and maybe play differently down in the comments below. Also, please leave a like, subscribe, as that would be very helpful and very, very awesome. I'm just starting this channel again. It's my first video. It would mean a whole lot to me. But say if we can get this video to like 10 likes, I will do my side deck for this deck and my Cyber Dragons. It's literally the same thing. My Rockets are going to be a different thing. I will use the side deck in the video for the Rockets when I show the Rocket deck profile, which is going to be not too long from now. You know, my buddy's going to exchange out cards and he has my Gammas. So, yeah, that's why my Rockets are going to take a second. But, and if this video blows up, I will make another deck profile within the week. Alright, again, thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. And again, let me know where you would change stuff in this deck, because it not only helps me become a better player, it helps other people. Sorry if you hear me coughing, I'm a little sick. But anyway, like I said, it helps me become a better player, helps other people become a better player. And also, like I said, deck profiles, don't take them with a grain of salt, because everybody has a different playstyle. Again, have a great day, everybody. Peace.